switch to the intro. What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk Live. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined today by a special guest, Josh Thomas of the Bit Block. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good. This is a meeting we've been trying to organize forever, but I don't wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to record podcasts like some people.
You know, listen, I have people in my podcast circles that live in England. I have to get up early to accommodate them. You know, actually my day job. I get up at 5 o'clock every day, so this is nothing. You know what I mean? Like for me getting up early, but I didn't realize that I was trying to organize Blathers to come on my show.
I love that analogy. I'm okay with that.
I figured you would be. I figured you would be. It's right up your alley, right?
Yes.
So basically, for anybody that doesn't know who Josh is, you got to be living under a rock, honestly. Josh has a YouTube channel called The Bit Block. You've been doing that for a long time, right? How long have you been doing the channel?
I've been covering Nintendo on YouTube for over 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Been a long time.
That's nuts.
I'm an old man, Bobby. I've been covering the Nintendo for a while now.
I see this. My wife is in the chat, and she said, "What's up, Mayor Joshy?"
She's a fan of the Animal Crossing journals. Then,
oh, dude, that's how we got hooked, man. We both started watching the journals, man, and just dove in, and it was like we just would every day. Like we would come home, we stockpiled a bunch of them. Like we had a bunch, and I would come home from work, and we'd sit down and we'd eat dinner and watch an episode, and just
Listen, that's very flattering. Thank you,
dude. Trust me, we loved you, man.
I'm very sad that there's not a new Animal Crossing game. I'm ready to get back into one, a fresh new Animal Crossing, and just kind of waiting.
I know that's what I was gonna say. Like, how disappointed were you that you didn't get that at E3?
It's been since 2012 since there's been an Animal Crossing game, and I feel like it is time. And I know a lot of people are thirsty for it. Even people who used to tell me like, no, it's too early. Even they're now saying, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. So I kind of feel like, maybe Animal Crossing is the kind of game that doesn't demo very well at E3, to where it could be something they announce in their December, their fall thing. Yeah. And then it launches in the spring of next year or something like that. So we'll see.
If you remember when they originally did New Leaf, right? So they did New Leaf for the 3DS. They announced it, but it was just a logo. They didn't do anything else. They didn't show the game. And then the next E3, they didn't even bring it. And people were flipping out. Like, how could you not even talk about it? You know what I mean? Like, and I only know that because me and my wife were two of the people, tweeting Nintendo, why didn't you show anything? Is a game... We thought the game was canceled, you know what I mean? And then the next year, they showed a bunch of it, and it was amazing. So, I'm kind of wondering... I mean, I know they have the app that they want to do, the game. So, I'm wondering if they want to kind of get them closer together and coincide them together. But I also wonder, too, if it's a situation of, because, I mean, I know people look at it and go, oh, it's, 2012 since we had the game, but they did just do, Welcome Amiibo to it.
But that was just it was a neat little thing, but I feel like that's a pretty small update they did pretty,
It was just for
Don't make excuses for them, Bobby.
I'm not making excuses. But let me ask you a question. Did you dive into that and play that a bit?
I did get back into it. I made a few journals when that came out, and it was sort of fun for a little bit, but I didn't last beyond a couple weeks. Yeah, I thought it was cute. It's a cool idea. I like it, but it did just seem like, hey, we're trying to sell Amiibo, and it didn't work for Amiibo Festival. It didn't really work too well for Happy Home Designer. New Leaf's the one everybody likes. Let's put some Amiibo functionality in there. I think that was their idea. But, it added to the game, and I thought that was cool, but it just didn't re-hook me like Animal Crossing Switch hopefully will be.
Now, I'll be honest with you, though. I will say this. I did love the fact that I could scan in my favorite villager, and they show up. And I could literally pick...
little cheater.
I could pick the villager I wanted to kick out, man. That was amazing. Come on, you know,
Bobby, you little cheater,
Stop,
you. Do you time travel as well,
no,
Bobby?
No. I
Let's
do
get
not
into
time
the
travel.
nitty-gritty here.
No. I do not time travel. I never time travel. My wife and we're purists when it comes to that. I just listen. I have like stacks of amiibo cards, and I got a whole shelf filled with all the amiibo. Look behind me. I got amiibo coming out my ears over here, man. I got every amiibo that's come out. The only one I don't have is Box Boy at the moment. But I have every
Japan.
other one. Yeah, that's Japan exclusive. I just don't want to pay $60 for an amiibo. That's my only thing that's holding me back.
Well, so wait a minute. You got all the Animal Crossing amiibo cards?
I don't have all the cards. I have a good portion of them. I think I have set 1 and 2 complete, a good portion of 3, and then at 4 I just have sporadic. I basically had all my stuff, so I was like, why am I... Like, I had all my favorite villagers, so I was like, I'm not just going to get them all. I could care less. Those things were expensive. The cards were expensive.
They were like $5 for 6, I think.
Yeah, but the thing of it was the problem was that you had to buy so many. You know what I mean? Like, you figure if it's $1 a card on average, it's $100. That's $100 a series.
Well, if you're lucky enough to never get doubles.
Yes, exactly. Luckily, I had I started on Facebook. I had I have a Facebook group that it's a good community of people. I got about 300 people in that, and then I started an amiibo card group. So we were exchanging cards and stuff. So we were trading, which was nice, man. It was, a lot of people were helping me out and sending me a lot of cards and stuff. So I couldn't complain with that. I'm surprised. Do you have Animal Crossing amiibo?
I do. Those are some of the few that I've kept. Okay. I went through this moment where I was really trying to get all the amiibo. Like, I was like, amiibo are these new things? And then I was like, oh my God, my house is just filled with amiibo. Yeah. I have no space. So I kind of trimmed it down. I sold the ones on eBay that I didn't really care for.
Hey, you're telling me I'm a cheat. What are you doing? You sold them on eBay?
Yeah, how's that cheating?
That's shady stuff. You're one of those guys. I see how it is.
No. They went for a reasonable price. Okay. I think I started at like $2 for one amiibo, or maybe even less than that. So I wasn't trying to make money, and they were out of the box too. Yeah, okay. I opened them. I opened my amiibo.
Yeah. I opened my amiibo.
Unlike the Ness and Lucas, I can see back there.
They're Japanese. That's why I kept them in the package. They're the Japanese ones. And I have a Rob the Robot, the Famicom Rob the Robot, a Japanese one over here. That's the only reason I kept them in the package, because they were Japanese ones. I have actual ones from North America that are opened. So I have them all.
Bobby's wife, feel free to open those. I know she's in the chat here.
Don't touch
Go in the room.
Don't touch them. She knows better. She knows better than to touch them. But you know what? Before we start really diving into some Nintendo stuff, I wanted to talk a little Disney with you.
I'm down for that.
I know. Me and my wife, we got married in Disney.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we go every year. We're members of the vacation club, so we go every year. But I wanted to ask you, I know you go a lot, as it is. Do you stay on premises or do you stay off premises?
Well, I live in Florida partially through the year.
Okay.
January through May, so I'd be at my apartment, which is usually like no more than 25 minutes away from the park.
Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
But when I do visit there, like me and Roger, for example, Roger's base, we're going to be going in July. And I don't stay on property because it ends up being way more expensive.
Yeah.
Than just getting I think I booked the hotel not too long ago. It was like $85 a night for like a really nice hotel, 20 minutes from Disney.
Yeah.
Staying on property, it's hundreds of dollars a night unless you get like some amazing deal.
Yeah.
So usually it's better, I would say. You do get benefits for staying with them. You get early park admission and stuff like that, so that's cool. Yeah. Especially if you wanted to go to like the Avatar land. That's
6 hours? Come on, 6 hours to just get in there? Like, no, I'll pass.
It'll cool down by the end of the summer.
She was there. Actually, she was there just before, like the day before it opened. They actually, her and her mom and dad all went down, and her mom and dad go like every couple of months. They're down there. I'm like, dude, how can you be down there that much? Like, how can you enjoy it that much to be down there?
Are you kidding me?
No, I know, but I mean,
daily. Daily, I'd say.
you want to live
when you work there, it loses some of its appeal.
That's what I was going to ask you too, because I watched a video of you had a couple of days ago, and you were talking about you were Peter Pan.
That is true.
Number one, I could totally see it. You know what I mean? Like, but like, what was that like? And you worked in Disneyland, right? Not World.
No, World in Florida.
Okay, so you worked at World. Okay.
Yeah, Kissimmee, Florida.
What was that like?
It's amazing and magical and horrible at the same time. It's this wonderful experience that you love and hate at the same time.
I can imagine. We were talking about that yesterday because I guess yesterday my wife said a part of the monorail fell off in Epcot, and they had to shut it down and actually get people out of the monorail while it was on the track, and then do repairs and stuff. And I said to my wife, I said, could you imagine working there? Like, you must know some stuff that's like just falling apart, and they're just overlooking it. And you're like,
I know like a lot of the really weird standards they have for like character performers and stuff, and when you're done, like you don't put your costume on and you don't take your costume off. It's really weird. Like putting it on, I get, but like after you're done with your shift and you go down into the secret tunnels of Disney and all that, they don't let you touch anything. Like you're not allowed to take any of it off. You're just kind of like a T pose, like here with everybody taking everything off. You feel like I don't know. It's very strange.
That's weird.
They're very strict on that.
That's weird.
There's just so many. I once got a few like middle-aged housewives gave Peter Pan their hotel number and where they were staying, which was I thought that was really weird. It's like I don't know what to do with this. So like all the characters have like attendants. You know, so I just kind of handed it to them, and I was like, "Oh, thanks." Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah. It's like I can't come like this.
This isn't going to be.
You're just going to see this. You're not going to see the rest.
I don't know what you're thinking's going on here, but I'm not interested in any way with whatever's going on here.
That is funny.
There's some stories. Yeah,
I can imagine. I went to when we got married down there. We did I did the Keys to the Kingdom tour, which actually takes you down below and stuff. And like, dude, that was just, I never, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it was like, holy crap, dude, it's a whole different perspective of everything.
Yeah.
Man. You don't realize how much of a genius that guy was until you start to like, they tell you all the little things that they did and how they built that place and everything. It's like insane.
It's crazy.
What's your favorite park when you're at Disney?
It's got to be Magic Kingdom because up until the Jaws ride closed, rest in peace, Jaws ride, my second favorite theme park attraction was the Haunted Mansion, which is now my first, I guess, favorite theme park. But oh my God, Magic Kingdom has so many amazing rides. That's like with Nintendo World opening up soon. Oh man, I really hope that they take inspiration from like the classic Disney attractions like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love the physical elements of it with like animatronics and real smoke, real stuff like that. That's what I really love. So I definitely would say Magic Kingdom is pretty amazing.
She doesn't like Universal because they took her to Back to the Future right away. Like that was,
she just said that.
Yeah, she just said in the chat. She's like real bitter about that place. Like I don't know.
A lot of people are. Yeah.
If it wasn't for Mario showing up over there, I don't think that I can convince her to go back. But I think I'm safe now that she'll go back. But like Harry Potter, she's like, no, I'm not going over there for Harry Potter. Like
Bobby, you picked correctly when it comes to your wife.
I know.
Got good.
I know.
I actually, my main reason for wanting to go is just because it's where the Jaws ride used to be. So there's still like essence of it. And I do like roller coasters too, and Universal has a lot of those. There's that.
It's more of like a. I'm reading what she's
like more of a thrill park than a lot of Disney's.
It's more of like a great, like where we are. I live in New Jersey, so where we are, they have like Six Flags Great Adventure. It's kind of Universal's more like that than Disney is. That's the other thing I was gonna say is like with the Universal deal, how upset were you that Disney didn't get it, or do you think it's better off at Universal?
Well, at first I was happy because I was like, okay, but Universal builds things really quickly. Like they get stuff going like way faster than Disney. Yeah. Avatar Land has been being worked on for a long time. So that was my first thought. Like, all right, at least we'll be able to see this in our lifetime because it's at going to Universal. But they're kind of taking their time a little bit with it, more than I thought they would. Disney does make attractions better than Universal, I feel, especially modern Universal, which is a lot of simulator rides and stuff like that. But I think I don't know. Yeah, part of me thinks, oh man, it would have been so cool to have this at Disney fighting against Harry Potter. I would have liked that so much.
Oh, I would have loved it. And they
But
have the
I think
space
Nintendo's involvement is going to be a big part of it being high quality. I think
you can
But
I was gonna say you can already see that though. You can already see like Nintendo's hands on it and
influence. Yeah,
yes, and
this is going to be one of those moments where Mr. Miyamoto's craziness is going to benefit us.
Yes.
Sometimes he'll make these suggestions that are so crazy for a game, and it's like, why did you do that? Like Star Fox Zero, or whatever. But with this, I can see Mr. Miyamoto being like, no, there's got to be animatronic Bowser driving next to you in Mario Kart and all this stuff. It's like, yes, listen to this brilliant crazy man here. He knows what he's talking about.
We did that. We watched your video last night, me and her, before I went to bed. And I went to bed late last night. Just want to let you know. It was like 12 o'clock, all right?
Late last night, 9 p.m. The sun was just going down.
Get out of here. No, but we watched it, and that's when you were talking about that. I was like, that would be so cool, man, to see like a cart go by that's Bowser and he's animatronic and all that. And like, when I did, just before you had said it too, because she had said like, well, how would they have this stuff on? And I was like, well, they're talking VR, which I'm not really a fan of that idea. But if it's like, I guess you said then it's also augmented reality is a possibility as well, which that I wouldn't mind, as long as it's not complete augmented reality and you do get like the actual physical Bowser or something like that, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, the rumors are that this is something that's going to have a lot of physical elements to it, Super Nintendo World. And that is just exactly what I want to hear. That's what I want to see. I don't think Universal can be so blind that they don't see there's a lot of people that are pointing out how many sim rides they make. I mean, almost everything they make nowadays, since Comcast bought them, has been like some form of a sim ride. I think the public is really catching wind of that, and I think Universal knows it, so I think they're really going to go all out with Super Nintendo World, so I cannot wait.
You know this guy?
Do I know this guy? Yeah, I know him.
I know. I feel the same way about him. You know what I mean? It's like one of, I know Zach.
No, Zach's great.
No,
Zach's
they're good guys. They're good guys. All right, let's dip into some Nintendo stuff real quick.
Let's do it.
So E3's over, obviously.
It is.
So, how Nintendo started their spotlight started with Xenoblade, ended with Mario. Would you have done it that way?
I wouldn't have started with Xenoblade. I thought that was an interesting start. I probably would have started it with something that's a little bit more, more wider audience, something that's a little bit more mainstream. I think I would have started it with Odyssey, actually, and then ended it with that Metroid Prime 4 teaser.
Oh, dude, you read my mind. I thought the same thing. I thought, that's the way you want to go out. As the person that mocked everybody with the Metroid Prime teaser, dude, come on. It was hilarious, but you did.
Bobby, I am the internet's sweetheart. You know this?
Yeah. But I watched it. I started watching the thing today, 25 minutes of Metroid Prime 4 reactions. And they're all insane. They're just all insane, every single one. And I'm like, man, if you could have just had that, just boom, fade out, and there you go.
That's their mic drop right there. That's a mic drop announcement, not a middle of the show announcement.
No. That's your hey, one more thing, and then boom, out, and done. That would have been, and then I would have started Treehouse Live with Metroid. I wouldn't have started with Mario, because then you go, by the way,
Metroid 2.
Yeah, Metroid 2. Metroid 2.
Yeah, okay.
I would have been like, by the way, we also have this, to go. But I totally thought that. Zach and I actually were on a prediction show for my buddy Sean on We the Gamercast. And on that, I said they're going to start with Odyssey. They're going to end with something else. And then they'll, one more thing, Metroid. And they all said I was crazy. And I was wrong. I think Metroid Prime sold, I thought, 2 million copies on the Wii, didn't it?
I think it did. Yeah, it sold a couple million.
I mean, obviously, it's not like Mario Kart numbers or anything like that, but $2 million isn't anything to sneeze at. There's game companies out there would love to sell 2 million copies of something, all day long. Yeah. So it's that's still a decent amount. I mean, the problem is that when Nintendo looks at units compared to how many Wiis were on the market, when you have 120 million units sold, They weren't taking into consideration, though, that those people weren't playing. Those people were Wii Sports and Wii Fit, and that was it. Like, there was nobody really doing... there was nobody buying those types of games, and I think that's what was hurting Nintendo. I don't know. Of the things that were shown, what was your favorite thing?
I mean, this is a super boring answer, but I got to go with Super Mario Odyssey.
Really?
I'm blown away with every aspect of that game. Like, I can't think of a single thing to complain about there. This is what I wanted. Bobby, we're going to butt heads a little bit on the Super Mario 3D World stuff you were talking about. I heard you.
What?
You don't think I listen to these? You love Super Mario 3D World?
I don't love it, but I like it a lot.
You said love. I heard love.
Maybe I did say love. Dude, what was wrong with that game?
It's the most lifeless experience I've ever seen.
Stop. It was not that bad. Come on.
No, I don't think it was bad. I think it wasn't like what I was looking for. I was looking for a Mario Odyssey. That's what I wanted. I love 3D Mario to be 3D Mario. I don't really want an in-between title. I don't totally get that.
Yeah.
I felt like 3D World was weird in the sense that they literally built... Okay, so Super Mario 3D Land, they built that game 100% for the 3DS in every way. Camera angle, the distance from Mario, the way the levels are designed, the art style, it's more blocky because you can't put a lot of polygons on screen.
Yeah.
And then when they made a sequel to it for a home console, they didn't really say, oh, we got to completely rethink what we've done here. They just said, oh, all the laws are still the same. And it's like, well, wait, not totally. I don't think it's a bad game. There's some cute stuff. I like Plessy, the dinosaur thing. Like, why isn't he in Mario Kart? Bring Plessy in Mario Kart. I mean, we've got Cat Peach in Mario Kart, but we don't have Plessy. What's going on? But I just thought it was kind of like, oh, it's a little bit on the mediocre side for Mario.
See, but I think the thing is, if 3D Land didn't hit, I don't think people would have been so upset about 3D World. 3D Land, when you got 3D World, it was just like, when all those games hit the Wii U, 3D World, Tropical Freeze, it was just like, yeah, but I just played these on the 3DS. Like, I just played all this stuff on the 3, and now you're bringing it back again. It was like, I want something new, and that's, I think, what hurt that a little bit. I think if that was just a standalone, that hit by itself, I don't think it would have got as much dislike as it got. I think when people got 3D World, they thought, oh, the next thing's going to be a Galaxy 3 or something like that, and then they didn't get it, and it was like rage and upset.
I would have been way more accepting of Super Mario 3D World if it was called New Super Mario Brothers U. Like, if that's what they did for a new Super Mario, if they're like, listen, we're doing another new Super Mario Brothers, but we realize we're kind of exhausting it. Yeah. So look what we've done. We've made it like this 2.5D thing. I'd be like, wow, this is actually pretty inventive for that.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I'm just teasing you. I don't think it's a bad game. I'm just wanting to give you
I talked to a guy today. Earlier today. I recorded If We Ran Nintendo, and I brought a guy on who actually went to Nintendo New York and played Odyssey. And he said when he went there to play, they were making him play as motion. They didn't give him a Pro Controller. They were playing with motion controls. And he said one of the coolest things is he fell in love with motion controls because he said as you're running, when you flick to throw the hat, to throw Cappy, and wherever you flick, it goes. So if you're running straight and you flick to the right, he'll throw the cap to the right. And it's
That's good. That's nice.
And I noticed that because if you watch the one part when they're in the Mexican land or whatever, he runs and he bounces and goes up and then throws the cap down to hit the flower underneath, and then it opens up and then he jumps and he hits it and bounces back up again. So that's kind of cool to think that that's kind of a mechanic.
Yeah, that is neat.
And I know you're I know you're a big fanboy for motion controls, so that
I'm King Motion Control. No. I am, yeah. I mean, I think motion controls, for me, like, a lot of people were like, I can't believe they're putting motion controls in the Switch. Like, for me, I would have been shocked if they didn't, because it was something that I felt they kind of proved themselves. Yeah, they can be gimmicky and sometimes not work in some games, but that's kind of true for a lot of, like, even for a classic controller, sometimes it can be crappy the way you control things. Absolutely. So I just felt like that was something Nintendo pioneered. It was really groundbreaking, and I'm happy they kept it, going. And I think for throwing the hat, come on, that's going to feel so cool. Right. Yeah, that's going to feel very, You do this to do the spin thing, like a whoosh.
Yeah. That's kind of. How did you feel about Mario Rabbids?
I like it,
Yeah,
honestly.
I do too. I think it's cool.
I've been a fan of Rabbids for a while now. Even in the early days, like the Wii, they were just minigame compilations, but they were done in this really weird, fresh way that these characters were just crazy. Yeah. They're like the good versions of Minions.
Yes, that dude. When I watched this video and I watched like the idiot hit with his head and get his head stuck in the question block, I thought these are the Minions. It's exactly what I thought. I was like, this is what you would see from a Minions movie. This is funny.
The funny thing is, though, they're more intelligent than Minions, I think. Minions don't seem to have the intelligence of a rabbit, which is really saying a lot.
That's saying a hell of a lot. Xenoblade, or is that on your radar at all? Are you a fan of that type of game or no?
I tried the original one on the Wii, and it's just not personally my kind of thing. I understand a lot of people like it, so I'm kind of happy for them, but it's just not something that I can get into personally. How about you?
I love Xenoblade. I didn't play it on the Wii. I played it on the 3DS when they brought it over to the 3DS.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say, where did you play it then?
Yeah. I played it on the 3DS, and I fell in love with it. I really did. I loved the storyline. I liked the voice acting in it. I thought they did a good job with it. Wasn't a big fan of Xenoblade Chronicles X because that kind of was strange, where you're kind of a mute deaf. They're talking to you, and you're answering them somehow. They can know what you're saying, but then when you go into a battle scene, like when you're fighting, you're calling out direction and you're yelling and you're part, like you actually hear your voice. And then you go back to like the cutscenes and like you're a mute deaf again. And I'm like, this is weird, man. This is just strange, you know? That's what made me a little bit nervous with Zelda. When Zelda was coming in, I saw like the voice acting and I thought, this is awesome. I've been a proponent for voice acting for a long time. Like I really feel like Zelda is a big epic game on the big 3D scale. There should be some voice acting to it. So I was excited, but I was like, I know they're not going to give Link a voice. I know it. And because too many people are going to get upset if they give him a voice, I just hope it's not the same thing as Xenoblade. Because Xenoblade was very strange. Like, and it was just absolutely weird. So I was like, man, please don't do that. If you don't do that, I'll be fine. And I fell in love with that game. I thought that game was phenomenal. Now, are you getting the DLC for Zelda?
I am. I have not bought it yet, though, because I wasn't in a huge rush to play with the Nintendo Switch Hot Topic shirt for Link. It seems so out of place, like this modern shirt. But yeah, I'm interested in it. I mean, I will buy DLC for that game for like 2 years to come if they make it. Yeah. Like I'll always like going back into that world if there's new content to check out. So,
yeah, that game was. I'm assuming you beat it, right?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Did you? I don't want to say anything because anybody hasn't beat it yet, they'll get upset at us, and I don't want to go spoiler realms.
Spoilers.
But the thing of it was like the most amazing thing to me about that game was, so I'm playing it. My co-host on the one podcast, Toby, he's playing it, and then my co-host on the other podcast, Sean's playing it, and then after about like each week we would kind of have a chat. Not try to get spoiler with each other because none of us didn't want to spoil it for the other one. But like it was strange that like we all started at the same time and we all kind of started doing the same thing, like tackling shrines and taking down towers. But we all ended in totally different parts of the maps. Like the order of beasts that we beat, like I beat way out of order of them guys. Like those guys beat a totally different direction than I did. And like that was the part that was like, this is what I love about this game. It's like not handle, like I'm old school Nintendo. Like I grew up playing the original NES, so you know I grew up with the original Zelda, and that was like this, like drop down, go figure it out. Go figure it. I had friends in school that like didn't realize to go in the cave, and they're running around Hyrule with no sword, and they're getting killed every 2 seconds, and I'm like, idiot! There's a hole like in the mountain. Go in it, man. The guy will give you a sword, and they're like, oh, okay, so. But I mean, that's the feel I got from this. Was like it was just kind of like you walk out the cave and it's like go wherever, do whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah. It took me 40 hours before I even did my first Divine Beast.
Did it really?
Messing around.
Did it really?
Yeah, I was just messing around.
That's a lot of time. Fernando, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you again. Nintendo, how are you doing? What else did I have for you? Oh, there's a rumor floating around the internet, and I just wanted to see if. I just want to see if it's a true rumor or not. There's a rumor going around that you indeed are not getting Splatoon 2 because you were afraid that I will kick your ass at it.
No, the rumor was I'm not getting Splatoon 2 because we'd never be able to play it because I stay up later than 7
is
p.m.
that what it is?
That was the rumor. I'm afraid there will never be a matchup there because of the difference in sleep schedules.
That is so messed up. That is wrong, man.
I'm waiting until the direct. We'll say that. I'm waiting to see what else is in the game. I'm hoping there's some surprises we don't know about yet. Aside from the Treehouse live streams, I feel like they didn't talk a lot about it, especially not in their main spotlight.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering where they're going to go with it. There's got to be a direct sometime in July next month before it launches. So
I think it was. I'm not sure if I saw you post it on Twitter or somewhere, but they're saying like that group battle thing is only limited times. Like it's not even all the time. Is that true?
Yeah. So the Salmon Run mode is being handled a little bit like a Splatfest in the sense that it's not something that you can always do. It's like a part-time job, meaning it's only a mode you can access on certain times when Nintendo allows you to, which to me is mind-boggling.
That's so
like
stupid. Sometimes
I don't know.
Sometimes they do stuff and it's like, why? Why?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the modes that's like, obviously that's something that stands out in Splatoon 2 as being new content. Yeah. And it was something that I was personally like, you know what? I kind of feel like the game's a little bit too similar to the first one, but I do like that Salmon Run mode and I can have fun with friends now. But now I'm learning like, oh, actually, you don't get to play it when you want.
Yeah, it's like...
Which is weird to me because nowadays more than ever, people want what they want when they want it. This is why Netflix and Hulu are so popular. People don't want to tune in on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock to watch their favorite show. Yeah. They want to sit and binge watch it until the middle of the night. I mean, not all of us want to watch stuff into the middle of the night, but some of us want to watch 2 hours of our favorite show into 1 in the morning or something.
Josh, thank you for coming on today. I see how this is good. I said it beforehand before we went live. I was like, I see how this show is gonna go. So, Yoshi, how excited were you to see that?
Very little excited to see that until I learned. Well, I learned more about it, and I've gotten like the Treehouse demo was way more encouraging than that trailer.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was just really shocked that I like 2D games, but I feel like Nintendo uses them as a crutch a little bit too much. We kind of get a lot of 2D games from Nintendo, especially from their main characters, Kirby and Yoshi and Mario and Donkey Kong and Chibi Robo even. Yeah. So I kind of had my first reaction was, man, this is just kind of like a little bit like Yoshi's Woolly World or something going on here. Mm-hmm. But once I saw it demoed on the Treehouse, I was like, oh, okay, it is kind of original the way you have 2 sides. And I like the way, there'd be like little butterflies on one side and then you turn around and it's like, oh, there's Shy Guys holding up butterflies on a little pole or something. Yeah. Like, that's great. That's very charming and it's cool. So I don't know. It started to win me over during the Treehouse Live segment. But I'm really curious to see where it's going to evolve, like how they're going to, what else will be in the final version. So, yeah. How about you? What do you think?
I loved it because I loved Woolly World. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a Paper Mario thing meets Woolly World type thing. And it's funny because when Woolly World, when it was going to be called Yarn Yoshi, I wasn't really into it. I was like, this is Kirby's Epic Yarn. This is all over again. Like, no, I don't want to do this. But then when they showed it at the E3 a couple years ago, when Tezuka and all them are in the yarn store and they're going through yarn and they're talking about it, I was like, oh my god, this is phenomenal, man. This just is an amazing art style. I love it. And then when I saw this, I was like, okay, it's a little bit more of it. I can deal with it. I was happier about this than I was Kirby. Because Kirby is the killer of consoles. So that means in 2018,
it's over.
Is dead. Yeah, it's all done.
All over.
No, I feel like my feeling, honestly, like I'm happy to see Yoshi. Kirby, I could take or leave. It doesn't matter. But my what I was upset about was I was like, man, you put this stuff in there. Where's Animal Crossing? Like, where's the new Punch Out? Where's the new Kid Icarus? Yeah, Pikmin. Now, did you hear about the Best Buy Canada leaks before E3?
I did hear about those, but I could be wrong, but haven't we been hearing about Pikmin World from Best Buy Canada since like January?
That I'm not sure. I don't know about that. Like, my buddy Sean, he messaged me the day, like 2 days before, and he's like, stay off the internet. Best Buy Canada just put some leaks out, and I just saw them. You want to avoid them. So then, after everything was done, I went and looked, and I saw Pikmin World, and I saw Smash Deluxe. Part of me feels like we're going to get a direct in a couple of weeks, and they're going to announce some stuff, because Nintendo's notorious for that. Like they'll do a direct after E3 and have everybody scratching their head like, why are you doing this? This makes no sense.
They're not a very logical company when it comes to things that seem obvious.
No.
That might be a little bit counterintuitive to a Splatoon direct, though, that I would imagine would be coming soon.
You think? You think?
But that would be why they would do it.
Yeah,
that's why they would do it.
And they would put all that stuff together. Yeah.
But I do remember when they were first revealing the Switch in January. I'm pretty sure there was a leak about Pikmin World, and people were like, "Pikmin World's going to be shown." So I'm not sure if that's just old and somebody brought it back up or something. I don't know. But apparently, was it in their system? Was it in like EB Games or Games?
It was in there. If they put it up, there was no picture to it. It was like a card. Like I guess it was like a flyer of what you could pre-order, and there was white. It was like a white looking cartridge with just the names on it. So it said Smash Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. Deluxe for Switch, and Pikmin World for Switch. And then they had a bunch of other games as well, and all those games actually went live and good to go. But that was the one that didn't go. But the thing is, somebody did pull Miyamoto aside. I don't know if you heard about this. They pulled Miyamoto aside and asked him about Pikmin. And he said, hey, Pikmin is not Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 is in development. It is coming. But I'm not allowed to talk about anything else. I was told by PR before I came over, because he's notorious for that stuff. He's notorious for like just coming in and saying whatever and then going back to Japan, and PR is like, what are you doing? Like this is.
So do you think that maybe he would have ended up saying, "Oh, we were going to bring Pikmin, but at the last minute we took it out because we're going to do blah blah blah"?
Yeah, knowing him, he would say something like that, because I don't think he doesn't bite his tongue. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard you talk about this, but were you a fan of Iwata?
He was my favorite Nintendo person ever. Like I was a huge fan of Mr. Iwata. I loved and respected the way that he would kind of own up to when people were disappointed in a decision Nintendo made. Yeah. I mean, during one of the E3s, he actually went to Twitter to apologize that people seemed to be disappointed in their showing. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine many company executives doing that. Like, they're usually going to put a spin on it, like, well, but he would just, like, you know. And I love the fact that he was a video game designer and developer, but was also running the company, which to me said that he's going to say, no, you guys don't have to rush that out. I know you need more time. I know you're capable of making that great. Well, you know, and he's also taken cuts in his salary. I mean, I can't think of anybody better to have run Nintendo, and it's just such a huge loss, I think, to the company that he's no longer around.
Absolutely, and for me, I feel like Kimishima. I can't say I don't like him, but you don't see much of him. But I feel like Kimishima is like Yamaguchi, like very business
oriented,
straight laced, like. This is what it's got to be and the way it is. So I feel like, I mean, it's sad that Iwata passed away, and it was horrible the way how quickly it went and everything. But like for me, I felt like they've reverted back. Like I feel like even though Iwata was struggling with everything, but everything that's happening now is all him, and that's what people don't really get. Yeah. That he had his hands on everything, and I loved watching the developer diaries from Zelda, where they were like, they went in and they talked to him about Zelda, and he was just like, go wreck it, do whatever you need to do that you think, bring it to the table and let's see what it is. And then he was like, go do it. You know, they were taking all the fans' recommendations and writing them down, what they liked, what they didn't like, and they went and and then they did it. And they did the same thing with Mario. You know what I mean? Like everything that they did, everything they're doing, and the Switch, it's like all these things he had his hands on, and it's just. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that I find amazing is like, even though the company was struggling with the Wii U, this was his change to fix things. And I really think he did a great job, man. It's sad because when I look at Kimishima, I go, there's a disconnect now. Now we're back to that disconnect of the way it used to be. And you can sense to some regards, like, thankfully you see the younger developers getting their opportunity now. With ARMS and with Splatoon. And with what they did with Zelda and what they did with the new Mario game, I feel like we're in good hands for the future. That's always been a fear of a lot of people, is like, what happens when Miyamoto leaves. Like what's going to happen. But you see like all these guys that are coming up are just knocking it out the park, man.
Well, like with Odyssey, Mr. Miyamoto is actually more involved with Odyssey than he has been with a lot of more recent Mario games. He's mentioned that in an interview. And he said that there's younger people working on the team of Odyssey. And he says that sometimes the younger developers will bring him ideas, and his first instinct is saying, "What? No, we can't do that. That's crazy." "Oh, all right. Well, just do it anyways, and I'll see what I think." Like the people in New Donk City and like the T-Rex and stuff, that stuff they would bring to him, and he'd be like, "I don't know. Well, just do it, and we'll see what happens." So I do think that getting some fresh blood in development is great, especially like people who grew up with Nintendo. I think sometimes they know the games and know what people like and what they didn't like more than the developers, because when you're developing these things for decades, you have a tendency to kind of get your judgment clouded in terms of what direction you should go in. So having people who grew up with Nintendo now working with those people, I just think that just makes for so much better games.
Absolutely.
Great games.
And I feel like they're starting to hit their strides, I feel. It's weird because what was it, like 2013, 2014, like they could do no wrong. Everything was clicking. Everything was perfect. Metacritic ratings were through the roof on everything. And then like once Star Fox and all those things started hitting, like they couldn't do anything right. And it just feels like right now they're right back to that whole good time of like everything floating around and doing all that.
I would say that in some regards they're kind of reaching GameCube levels of greatness for me personally. I look at the GameCube as being one of Nintendo's smartest development eras. I mean, like they would do things that seemed crazy and like troubling. Like Mario's in a tropical area and he's got a jetpack and stuff, but then you play it and it's just like, wow, this is like a key game. So I see that level of like taking risks and being creative, but in all the right ways. Definitely during the Switch era now, like with Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. So I'm really excited to see what's down the pipeline.
Poke Madness, I gotta disagree with you. That the
Star Fox was good. People never gave the controls a chance. Lies! Yeah. Star Fox was trash, and you know it.
Oh, so bad. So bad.
Well, Mr. Miyamoto said the goal was to try and make you feel like you're flying a real fighter plane, and mission accomplished, because I don't know how to fly a real fighter plane either, so definitely felt like that.
I feel like to go back to your to go back to the other question he's got here, is Iwata's influence is still with Nintendo. A lot of these things like Prime 4 were likely Kimmy's ideas. I think Prime 4 was Reggie's idea. I think Reggie was hearing all these people every time he went someplace like, where's Prime 4? And he's moved now from talking about Metroid to Mother 3. Like, if you realize in his latest interviews, he's like, we hear you talking about Mother 3. I have a feeling, because in one of his interviews recently during E3, right at the end of E3, he talked about them taking, like, what they did with Metroid 2, the remake with Samus Returns. I think they're going to try to twist and change up Mother 3 to, like, make it more up to speed to what it is. Have you ever played any of the Earthbound games, Mother, or any of that?
I played Earthbound, which I think is what, Mother 2?
Yes.
Okay, so I played that. I love everything about it. I just can't totally get into the combat. I feel like the combat feels dated, in my opinion. I like Paper Mario's combat. I love, because it's like you got a button timing and all this cool stuff, and yet at the same time it's very simple to understand and stuff. So that kind of battling in Earthbound is a little bit trickier for me to really get into. But everything else I love. The characters, the art style, the music, the crazy wackiness. I love all that stuff. Yeah.
R-Wing Attack asks, do you think we'll get another Star Fox?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I think we'll get one. But, okay, so that's an easy question. It's like, yeah, we'll get it. When do you think we'll get it? How about that?
I think we'll get a Switch Star Fox. I think we will.
You think we'll get a Star Fox Zero Deluxe?
God, no.
Hopefully it's a new game.
I think Nintendo is aware of most people's opinions on that.
Listen, MG Dragon, we've been through this, and yes, that's Josh's favorite game, like Amiibo Festival.
Amiibo Festival?
It goes down as all time. Did you play that?
Are you kidding me? I've played it probably more than most people, because I have a friend who thinks it's good. So it's a little bit annoying. He's like, why do you want to play? Let's play some Amiibo Festival. I'm like, are you insane? Do you hear yourself? You're not even making a joke. You really want to play Amiibo Festival.
Although the Desert Island was fun. I was glad when they brought that to...
You can do that in New Leaf.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't in New Leaf originally. So I played it on the Wii U quite a bit. I like that. It was kind of cool.
I'll give you that.
We're all not haters like you, Josh.
I hate everything about it.
This is true. This is true. So are you a bigger fan of 2D Metroid or 3D Metroid?
3D Metroid.
So you're a fan of the Prime series.
Bobby, I already dropped this bomb on the Nintendo dads. I might as well drop it on your show as well. You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sit down. Here we go.
I'm already sitting. Go ahead.
Super Metroid's the most overrated Nintendo game ever.
I heard this. You know what? You're wrong.
Most overrated.
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Stop.
The most overhyped, overrated.
Prime series is the most overhyped game in the
Thumbs
world.
up. Thumbs up to Prime.
Nuts.
Prime.
Dude.
Prime was this. Here's what Prime is. It takes what you wanted to see in Super Metroid, puts it into a 3D environment with way more intricacy, better music, better controls. Oh, mwah. Magnifico, Bobby.
You are
Magnifico.
on crack. Listen, the Super Nintendo was before your time. Am I right or wrong?
I was born in 86.
Okay.
So that was... I had
so
a
you're born
regular...
in 86, but were you playing Super Nintendo?
I've been playing Nintendo games since I was like 3 or 4.
Okay, there's a difference between playing Nintendo and playing Nintendo. I'm not talking about... Well, I'm talking about you weren't sitting on the side with a controller that wasn't plugged in. Were you really playing?
No. I was really controlling the games.
For me with Metroid, I think, or Super Metroid, I think what I liked is I played the original Metroid, I beat the original Metroid, and it took me a long time to figure out what it was, and then when I finally figured out, like, oh, okay, I'm powering up, and now I can get into these other levels these other areas that I couldn't get into before. Mm-hmm. It kind of clicked, like, okay, this is cool. So when Super Metroid came around, I was just ready for it, and I liked the story. I liked that I was going back and all that stuff, and like I loved how like when you first came down, it was a lot of like what you had already done in the original Metroid. So for me, it was a lot of fun. It's, you know what? I see that shit-eating grin on your face. And I'm like,
I think the original Metroid on the NES is better than Super Metroid.
Oh, you know what?
It is. It's better.
You are so full of crap.
But I will say I am actually interested and somewhat excited to play Metroid Samus Returns. I think that looks cool.
Did you play any of the other Metroid, like 2Ds, like Fusion and stuff like that?
I have, I think, the Game Boy one on my Wii U or 3DS. I don't know which one it would be on, but I have one of the Game Boy. I think that's the one that's got the weird orange Orby looking things that they go into one of the dead bodies.
That's Fusion. That's Fusion.
Okay, I've been trying to play that.
It's a good game. It gets at one point the difficulty ramps way up on it. Okay. But I feel like the mechanics and all that are better suited and stuff. I like that a little better. What's your take on indie developers? Do you play a lot of indie games or no?
I can't stand those smug art school students with their little hippie games. No. I mean, it's just, to me, I don't even look at it in terms of indie developers, to be totally honest with you. I just look at them as game developers. Yeah. Like, they're just games. They're games like anything else. Yeah. A lot of them are making games that seem like they're, could be made by a huge studio or whatever. Yeah. I'm excited about, did you see this game? It's called Tunic, and it's like a top-down Zelda type game. Mm-mm. I've noticed that from an indie developer. It just looks so cool. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of indie games that I think are cool. I'm down with them.
There's a bunch of them that I'm looking forward to. Like when they did that Nindies Direct, I was so excited for that. There was a bunch.
I heard you were excited they didn't show many of the Nindies at E3.
I was disappointed. I wasn't happy about that because I feel like those are the guys that carried you when the Wii U was thin. You know what I mean? Like when all the third parties bailed on you, when EA left and Capcom left and all these companies bailed on you and weren't making games for the Wii U, the Nindies were there by your side, putting games out every week, trying to push through. To kind of like, but it wasn't just Nintendo. Like even Sony and Xbox just like turned their backs on those guys, and it was like, this just doesn't make sense. But I really was upset that Nintendo did it because I felt like, man, you owe it to these guys to like give them some time. You know, it doesn't make sense to me that like, again, they kept you alive when things got tough, and then you just kind of bail on them. I wasn't a fan of that. I don't know whether that was just a conscious decision by anybody, or if maybe the indies were just like, we don't have anything new to show. Like, let's just not do anything.
Could be that.
Could be that. Because the ones that I am friendly with, Image and Form, who are doing SteamWorld Dig 2, Zoink, which is doing Faye and Flipping Death, and Jules Watcham, who is actually doing Chicken Wiggle for the 3DS. All three of those guys, those teams and such, like, they always, well, Zoink not so much. Zoink will kind of go, they'll bounce around. But Image and Form and Jules are diehard Nintendo. You know, they'll develop for Nintendo. So it kind of was like, man, that's kind of rough. But like, even like Nicholas, like they didn't have them there, and they're doing new indie games all the time, and it's like, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know, I don't get it. It just didn't make sense to me.
Maybe we'll get another Nindies Direct at some point in the year. Probably. And I know that a lot of stuff's coming soon, but it's just weird to me. I don't know. You know, I don't ever see you playing indies. That's why I was kind of curious. I know you're stuck up, man. You don't like to dive down into the muck of the. Very stuck up. The muck of it. You are obviously a liar because I did a review on Snake Pass, and that's kind of an indie game.
Come on. Do it. At least do a good indie.
Snake Pass. I love Snake Pass.
Snake Pass was cool. Snake Pass was a little tough at times, though.
Well, I mean, for people who don't play games a lot, maybe, but not hardcore gamers.
Wow.
I got to drink this with the logo to the camera for product placement.
You are a mess.
Refreshing Aquafina.
Okay, I meant to like write this down the other day, and I didn't, like an idiot. Where can people get your shirts at? You design shirts.
I have a TeePublic shop.
Okay.
And the link is usually in every one of the videos.
I didn't see it in the last couple of videos. That's why I was.
Maybe I think I might have was pushing my social media more than that for now, because I might be switching to a different one in the future.
A different shirt thing.
Yeah, because I'll just be totally honest. The commissions on those shirts are almost 0%.
Really?
So yeah, with TeePublic, it's almost not worth it. So I'm trying to. I have like a million emails from people like offering, do this with us or whatever. I usually just ignore them. So I have to.
Designed by Humans isn't too bad.
Really?
Yeah, they're not too bad. The quality.
TeePublic, you know what I want to do? TeePublic just lets you put like something in this area, this general area. Yeah. I want to do like more. Like I want to be able to put stuff anywhere. Yeah. And so I'm looking into some place that lets you do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. The only problem with a couple of companies, because we were designing shirts at one time for our podcast and stuff, and the companies that would let you do stuff on the sleeves, the prices just started to jump
way up.
And it's like, come on, dude. Like, I don't want to spend, like, I'm not trying to break people's banks, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it's basically us, for the shows, to wear them during the shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done with your exiling of Twitter?
What's my exiling of Twitter?
Every now and again, you like shut your account down, man. Why?
Well, the most recent one was just to troll, mostly Roger. I don't know if you saw this. I was purposely having a conniption about Nintendo's E3 when really I didn't have those feelings.
Uh-huh.
But because I knew Roger would be like, what are you? Because I saw his tweets were like so going nuts, and I was like, So I got him into a discussion with me live, and he was going nuts, and I was like, no, I think this was worth in 2015. I would have. And then I was like, Roger, guess what? I'm just trolling you. And he's like, what? Oh my God, I hate your guts. No, this is the thing with you. I just hate you. So, sometimes I'll close the Twitter just because I'm working on so many things and it's such a major distraction. Twitter is, like I'm always checking it to see what's new or whatever. I've got about 1 million projects that I've been working on behind the scenes that I'm trying to wrap up all at once, which is one of the most difficult things to do. So that's sometimes where I'll jump off of social media. It's on now, though. It's up there.
Well, I
for better or for worse.
I went to go DM you that day, and I'm like,
what?
Damn, I can't send him a message. What the hell's going on here? And then I started looking around. I'm like, oh, there's all, and I started messaging Justin Madison. I'm like, dude, what the hell's going on, man? Josh started a whole bunch of stuff with people on Twitter, and then he closed his account. And Justin's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, he's getting ready to go do an episode of Nintendo Dads at the time, and he's like walking into that with that. Fernando asked, have we ever played FIFA Street?
I have not.
Yeah, I haven't either. Actually, FIFA 18 will be the first FIFA game that I get. I've played it before. I've just never owned one, and but I am going to get this one because it kind of interested me a little bit. I don't know why, but
the only I've played 2 soccer games.
Strikers.
One of them was Strikers on the GameCube, and the other one was Strikers on the Wii.
I have a feeling that's the only sports games you play is Mario Sports, right?
Yeah, if there's not banana peels and bob-ombs and chain chomps, I'm not interested.
How do you feel about Mario Golf?
I love Mario Golf, actually.
Yeah,
Toadstool Tour, man, that is amazing on the GameCube. And World Tour on the 3DS was one of the rare new Mario sports games that was actually great.
I love the tournaments. I used to enter the tournaments all the time, and they were so
much fun.
They
did do those.
Yeah, they were so much fun. When my wife just asked, what's your favorite villager?
My favorite villager is... So that's not one of the main characters. That's just the villagers. Okay. Octavian is pretty fantastic. I like that he's grumpy and he's an octopus. Stitches is pretty great, though Stitches is kind of a basic answer. A lot of people say Stitches, so I feel like I'm not being clever with that one. I think Octavian is one of my favorites. I think he might be it. Fun fact, exclusive for this show right here, Bobby. You ready for this?
Here we go.
I'm working on a new episode of Make Believe, and I'm going to introduce new nautical villagers to your town. And I'm working on sharks, whales, and dolphins. Nice. So if you want to see what those would look like in the Animal Crossing art style, living on your beach, stay tuned.
Dude,
an episode.
I love Make Believe. I love that series. I was so upset when because you did the one with Animal Crossing, and I thought that did really well. And then the E3 one didn't really do
as well as I had hoped. Yeah.
And then that's when you were like, I'm not going to do them anymore. And then you announced that you were going to do them again, and I was like, yes, that's good stuff. Yeah. Anything Animal Crossing you can do, man, I am 100% behind it. Like, I love your Animal Crossing content. I really do.
I've got a lot of Animal Crossing Make Believe coming up, so
that's good.
Stay tuned.
That's good. I love the air balloons was a cool idea. Like, I thought that was genius. And then I think it was during the E3 one you did with the fishing. Like where you could.
That's going to be a full episode really soon. Yeah, I'm going to really elaborate on that pretty soon. I've actually polished that up more since then, and it looks better and stuff. So excited to.
What do you think about Nintendo's voice chat options?
Voice chat options?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I guess you know what I'm talking about with the Hori thing.
Yeah.
With the Splatoon headset and all that nonsense.
I'm a bit confused by it, and I sort of feel like, why don't I just make a phone call with my friends if I'm already holding on to my phone?
Yeah.
I don't totally.
Yesterday, Discord said that they're looking into putting an app on the Switch. So a Discord app would be on the Switch. Would be
beautiful.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then Nyko, I think it's pronounced. They just came out with a. It looks like a dock for the Joy-Cons, right? It looks like a Joy-Con grip, but your cell phone sits in it at the top, and it can charge your cell phone and also charges the Joy-Cons as it's going. So it would be like if Nintendo's thing with the mobile app, so it would sit there the whole time. Because a lot of people were saying, like, well, how do I charge my phone? This would be the way to charge your phone, plus still play and be able to chat. I hope they do something good. This is not looking good.
If they're charging us money, I feel like they have to, I mean, granted they are way cheaper than the competitors when it comes to online.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but I do feel like it's an area they could improve in as far as, online play goes. I personally just use Skype or Discord when I play with my friends online.
Yeah.
I'm still somebody who plays a lot of local multiplayer.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a lot of like, sometimes in the middle of a concept you're unfamiliar with. But sometimes in the middle of the night, it'll be 1 a.m. Yes, there is a 1 a.m, Bobby. It'll be 1 a.m, and we'll want to play some Mario Kart, and so obviously they're not going to come over, so we'll play and we'll talk on Skype.
Do you know when I know when 1 a.m. is? When Animal Crossing is around, because I have to stay up till 1 a.m. to go catch fish, to go to the island and catch sharks and the expensive beetles.
Wait, you're staying up till 1 a.m. to do that?
It starts at 10, but like at 1 a.m, everything you're catching is a gold mine. So I would stay up.
They've built the game for people like me.
for lunatics like you that want to sleep all day.
I'm right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of whatever their chat options are at the moment. I feel like, but because for us, when ARMS was going, we were doing a lot of Skype video chat actually, which I liked better because it was almost like the person was in the room with you. Because I could just look over to my phone. I prop my phone up with a with a little tripod thing. I'd prop my phone up and then they're right there. I could look over and talk to them while I was playing, and it made it a lot of fun. Did you get ARMS?
I did not. I passed on ARMS.
Oh, you are a mess.
I don't have ARMS, man. Bobby.
What the hell?
No ARMS.
No ARMS. No Splatoon 2. What are you doing?
I'm waiting for good games, Bobby. That's what I'm doing.
You didn't like, I figured you would.
I liked ARMS. ARMS was fun. I liked the demo. I'm just not in a rush to go buy it. If I can find it for $30, I'll pick up ARMS. I feel like there's not enough content for me. All my friends that I've shown it to, they're like, this looks stupid. So I either have to find new friends or I have to not get it because I don't have anybody to play with.
I loved it, dude.
A lot of people seem to like it.
Listen, you got me. I can bring you my friends.
You're gonna come here. You're gonna come over.
No, we can play over the internet.
That's not the same. You gotta come here and I'll buy it. You guys all come here. Get the Nintendo dads here too.
Okay.
We'll all have.
Well, they gotta get passports and green cards and all that. Kind of stuff. I don't think they'll let
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Jesse's okay. Jesse's not that far from you, right?
Where does he live?
I think he lives in Kansas City.
I'm in Illinois.
Yeah, so you're not that far off. Close enough. And Masson moved overseas, so that's not going to
He's long gone. He's on another planet.
He's in another world. The one night I was up till like 10:30 or something like that. It was a late night, man. It was a late night. And I'm on Skype, and all of a sudden my Skype starts ringing, and it's Justin. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, it's 4 a.m. He's like, I'm about to record an episode. And I'm like, what is wrong with you, man? Why are you waking up at 4
He gets up early to do that.
To go record. Like, I would just be like, guys, I love you. I will see you in a couple of years. If the show is still around, I will come back. But I am done. It's nuts.
He's like you. He's a morning bird or whatever.
Dude, we're not. Listen, not all
early
of us.
Bird gets the worm.
Not all of us have that ability to just sleep all day. You know what I mean?
Sleeping is one of the things I do best. Actually, the talent of mine.
I believe that. I do believe that. My Josh Thomas Twitter starts going off around 11 to noon every day.
That's when I wake up.
That's when I'm like, Josh just woke up. It's time to start his day. The other guys, do you play Xbox or PlayStation at all, or no?
I have owned one system that wasn't Nintendo in my life, and it was a PlayStation, and I bought it so that I could play 2 Muppet games.
Oh, good God.
That's all I ever played.
God.
There was Muppet Race Mania, and there was a Muppet Monster game, and I was like, you know what? I got to get myself that PlayStation so I can play those games. And that was it.
And you want to talk about me with good games. Really? Really?
Those games are...
You're going to take shots at Super Metroid, and you're buying a PlayStation for Muppets.
Listen, Muppet Monster Adventure... greater than the Super Metroid.
You wish. You wish.
But no, I mean, I'm not opposed. It's not like I'm a fanboy and I think those suck and Microsoft suck. But I just don't. I find that it's like I don't know. There's not a ton that really makes me want to say, okay, I need to go get those. But there are games on the other platforms where I think, oh, that's pretty cool. I'd play that if somebody gave it to me or something. Give me the console and the games, and I'll maybe play them. That's my thoughts on that.
with with the Wii U, how like was it an awful system for you, or were you very happy with it?
That's my Pikmin 3 and Netflix machine.
That's all you use it for? Really?
That's Yeah, I mean, so I could probably count on one hand how many games on the Wii U that I would genuinely tip my hat to. Okay. Meaning games that I think, wow, that was something. Okay,
I want to hear these.
We're gonna go with these. We're gonna go Pikmin 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a
We're gonna go Super Mario Maker.
Okay. That wasn't great. It was a good tool set. I liked making levels. I hated trying to find good levels.
There were a lot of don't move and whatever. Yeah. Like those
and that was BS.
Levels.
I hated that.
I was mostly into making the levels.
Yeah, I was too.
So I'd give Super Mario Maker to it, even though you clearly hate the game.
I don't hate the games. It's just not.
I would say Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Throw that one in there.
That was really good.
Splatoon. Did I say Splatoon?
No, you didn't
Throw
say
Splatoon in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then maybe Smash 4. I think those are my 5 that I would say I genuinely loved. Other than that, I can't seriously think of any other Wii U games that really blew me away.
I liked Bayonetta 2. I liked Bayonetta 2 a lot. I liked Rayman. I thought Rayman was really good.
Legends was on there, right?
Yeah. I thought that was really, really good. Crazy story. So I never realized that there's a game setting on your TV. And I always knew there was a game setting, but I didn't think it made a difference. I didn't realize that with the HD TVs, it kind of puts these layers on, which creates lag. So I'm playing Tropical Freeze and I'm playing Rayman, and I'm getting killed every 2 seconds, and I'm getting so frustrated. So I stopped. So when I moved everything downstairs into my game room, I was like, well, I don't have to really like have the TV set to anything to watch movies so I'm going to set the TVs to game. And all of a sudden, I got dramatically better. And I actually beat Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and Rayman after I switched to game settings. So now that's all I play on is game. The TV has to be set to game.
You thought it was just because you were terrible at the game.
I thought I had lost I thought I lost my skills, man. I'm like, damn, did I really get this bad at platformers? Like, I know that I used to be really good, but yeah, it fell apart for me. What I like about going back to Odyssey real quick. What I like about Odyssey is it feels very Mario 64, meaning you have your level, your world that you go into, and you go back multiple times into it. And each time you go back, you have different like achievements and goals you have to achieve to get before you beat that level. I like the moon stuff. I also like the ability to buy clothes and change your clothes and stuff. Like, I like that Mario Maker suit, the outfit that you can get. Like, that's cool,
Very cool.
I like that stuff. So we'll see.
They play into the gameplay as well. I think there's a lot of times where, like, I seen one part in the demo where there was some guy that you couldn't go into the building, or he had, like, a challenge on the top of it, and he's like, I'm looking for somebody who's a construction worker who can go up there and fix the scaffolding or whatever. And so obviously you got to get the Super Mario Maker stuff. Yeah, so it just seems like they're not just there to look cute. They also have, like, a purpose.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because it's my understanding that you can actually get more than one moon without opening it back up. Like in Mario 64, you get the star and they send you out. But this one's like you get it and you can still go.
Yeah.
I think that there's like, I don't know what they're officially called, but they were like super moons or grand moons. And that's what would exit you out of the level. But you can get just the single individual moons. And I don't know what those are used for or whatever. I think the single individual moons will help you fuel your ship to progress to new lands. But the grand moons are like a star in a way. So it's pretty interesting.
I had an idea one time, and I wish that they would.
One time?
Yeah, one time.
I would hope you've had more than just one time.
Just once.
One.
So you remember All Stars, right? You remember Super Mario All Stars, and it was.
I do.
I always wish they would do Super Mario All Stars 2, and be Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, all on one like disc. That would be like the best. And then maybe you could throw 3D World in there just to be like, hey, here you go, guys. No, there's 3D World I would put there. No, because I felt like those 4 games kind of were like all the same to some degree. You had that vibe that was all the same.
There's one problem though. Nintendo likes money a lot nowadays. And so they think, well, we could sell these separate for a lot more individually.
I was hoping that they would have done a Sunshine HD remake.
I would. That's my favorite Mario game ever.
I know it is. That's why I said that. But I think it's really hot trash. But I figured I'd make you happy and say it.
Oh, well, it's better than Super Metroid.
Would you stop? You're so full. The only problem I had with Sunshine was I felt like
that it ends. That's my big problem with it. Eventually, it ends.
Stop. There's some jankiness with it at times. It's not the best. The camera isn't always... Don't shake your head, no. There's times where that camera gets really super wonky, man.
I'd make sure your TV settings are on game. Maybe that's the problem. Turn it on game. Mine have been on game for decades, and I've never had any problem with cameras.
Stop. I never had any problems with any Mario games. I'm good with those. This is ridiculous.
Listen, I've heard of the camera complaints. I've never witnessed them myself. Never.
That's because
the ultimate.
You might not have the good eye, you might not have the eye to notice problems with games. Like it just might be.
It's this thumb with that. I know exactly what I'm doing with that camera. It's just like second nature. I don't even touch the camera button. I just do it with my mind. I just control the camera with my mind when I'm playing Sunshine. It's amazing.
God, listen to this. Such BS, man. Such BS. All right. You got anything else before we wrap this up, or?
No, not really. I mean, I'm excited for a lot of projects Nintendo has coming out. I'm really excited about the theme parks. I'm excited about the Switch. I think that this E3 was, I gave it a B- overall.
Yeah,
my personal thoughts on it today. Yeah. What would you say it was? What was yours?
I felt like they won out of the big three compared to Sony, but I felt like the big winner, if there is a big winner of E3, would probably be Ubisoft. Just because I felt like, I felt like Ubisoft had enough surprises and enough differentiation between all their different games and all that, like it made people happy. That flight game that's like a Toys to Life type thing. That thing looked really cool, man.
Yeah, I agree.
So there was a lot. Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's another one that people have been screaming for years, and they're going to do it again. So it's just like to me, it felt like they hit with a lot of stuff. For Nintendo, for only being 25 minutes long, and that's the thing with Nintendo is, it's 25 minutes long, but that's not it. It doesn't end and start there. Like, then you have Treehouse Live. Like, Treehouse Live, they had a bunch of surprises in there. So, like, when you lump it all together, I think a B- is fair. I think that's more than fair. I would probably say B, not B- easily. It definitely wasn't an A or an A+. I think if they would have done some things, rather than having a guy sitting there talking about Pokemon, coming, that would have been, rather than just having the logo for Metroid.
Show something, or I think that would have put it over the top.
I even felt like if you would have just showed Samus something different than just the Metroid Prime 4, like, it was kind of cool, the reveal, but like, man, if they would have just not even done that, if they would have just had like darkness and you heard the music and then you just saw the visor light up, that would have been even better.
That would have been better. Yeah, you make a good point. I think just from like a performance standpoint, I don't think they revealed it as well as they could have. Like what you just said, just having the visor would have been like, oh my gosh.
Oh, people would have.
Like I had mentioned, I don't know if you saw the video, but I was like, even if they just came up with a better logo to where it had some subtle things in the logo to where we're like, okay, we're going to analyze this logo for the next year and try and figure out what that is.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the type of thing that they added in there like literally 2-3 days before E3, where they're just like, can we squeeze this in there? Let's squeeze it in there.
Game Explain would have like did like a 3-hour video on the logo,
analyzing
it,
In the reflection on the chrome of the M, we can see what might be Dark Samus.
Exactly. So, good Lord, do you want to plug anything before we go?
I think just the BitBlock is the YouTube channel.
Yes,
and
your Twitter.
That's about it. Stay far away from my Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm going to anti-plug that.
Yeah, don't go to the Twitter because you know what, man?
Run away.
He's going to troll the hell out of you. You're going to get annoyed. He's going to say the most obnoxious things in the world. And you know what? Now that I know that's what you use it for. The one time you did an Exodus, right?
Okay.
It was right before I went to Disney, like a year and a half ago. I forget what happened. You got into a fight with somebody and you like shut it down. Because I remember
Little old me getting into
yeah,
an argument,
yeah,
Bobby?
I know,
What?
I know. But
Doesn't
I was getting
sound
ready to
like...
go to Disney, and your vlog of Japan in Epcot was like, oh
Oh,
my god! Like me and my wife were watching. I was like, oh my god, oh my god! And I actually went there, right? And I did a little mini vlog of going there, and I bought I bought some Zelda stuff, some of the
yeah.
statues. So I like took a picture or something, and I posted it, and Roger guessed what it was because you guys were there like the week before. Like I missed you guys by like a week or something like that, and Roger was like, "Oh, you got that thing," and he named it. I'm like, "Dude, how the hell did you know?" And he's like, "Because they had it when we were there," and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense then." So, but all right, so that is all. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody that came out tonight. It was a lot of fun. Josh, man, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you
Finally,
for having me.
after months of trying to
After
get
months
you.
of me begging to be on the show, he finally said it was okay.
Oh, would you stop? You didn't beg. You asked one time, and I was like, "Holy crap! How does Josh Thomas know about my show?" And then we started from there. So, but that is all. I will see you guys tomorrow with some new content on Nintendo Talk all week long. We'll try to get some news articles and stuff going this week, but that is it. Thank you and good night.
Bye-bye.